Crude is on the February, which I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to change on the 60-minute. I don't believe I've traded it in a bit. And then gold is already on the right contract. If you ever look into or wondering, which contracts should you be trading, one website that I use is barchart.com, which basically gives you the most up-to-date information on the volume on each of them. So as you see right now, volume is still on crude oil is in the February contract as well as natural gas. If we go to metals, we'll be able to see gold is also on the February contract. So that's that. Let's go ahead and get started. Let me just change this to CLG22. Okay. All right. So, oh wow, actually, crude oil is giving us an opportunity right now. I'm just going to go ahead and buy that market and put my stop below where it needs to go, which is at 76.19. Okay. Crap. Sorry, I didn't get a chance to move that quick enough. I just wanted to make sure that we're looking at the right stuff here. So, all right, T1 filled. So just to kind of, accidentally, T1 should have really been at, let's see, 42 minus 19, 23 ticks. So should have been at, basically right here at 2300. I'm sorry, at 230 or 460. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to move it quick enough, so it did end up already filling. So obviously we pocketed a little bit of money there. Right now, we're just not going to count this as a trade. We're just looking at this as a basically a way to kind of show you how these trades would work out. So why do we enter when we entered? So we have a UFO here at 76.43. And as you see, the market climate is a confirmed market climate, right? We're looking at a confirmed thick blue dot here. And it's the sixth one out of typically 7 that it goes up for. So we have a whole hour for this trade to work out before we can't take it, because then it'll be overextended. Additionally, something else that we look at is we also look at the moving average, which is, as you see, is marked by this gray note here. Moving average is at 76.29, so 76.30 is what it was before. So now that we have those two pieces of information, we go to these other charts and we look and see. All right. Okay, so yeah, we should be live across the board here now. I'm just double checking here on my end. Looks like we're good to go. Yep. All right, so we are definitely good to go. Okay, so let's see now, what do we have in front of us? So again, this trade, while it is live right now, again, it got taken. The T1 got taken too quick. T1 should have really been up there, but unfortunately, the trade moved so quick that I was unable to move it on time. So, but anyways, it is what it is. What are you going to do? Sometimes these things happen. Just out of curiosity, did anybody by any chance take it with me? I'm just curious to know. If you didn't, that's okay. It's quite all right. Okay. Looking like it wants to retest a little bit lower on crude oil, even though market is open now. It's for the first 10 minutes of the open for crude. It created this nice big wide UFO. That's the one we took it on. Now, as far as a final target, it would be up here at 77.55. So 77.55 would be that final target. Should this work out? So 55. Now, as of right now, we are in this trade. I just realized I didn't adjust this here. Let's go ahead and adjust that. 77.55. Now, something else that needs to be, kind of understood here. Obviously, this price can be looked at as it's really far. This is also the hourly chart, right? So this is, you are expected to hold this, I would say at least for a couple of hours, right? It's not a trade that should be executed, and it's not a scalp by any means. It might stop out before we even finish this conversation. But the bottom line is this, right? The way that we're planning on trading this, right? Even if it doesn't do something like it did here, as you see from the 73s climbing all the way up to the 76s, right? That's a $2,500 move. Even if it doesn't do something like that, what we would like to see, what we would like to, kind of expect to happen here is the following. We would like to be part of this move if it keeps going to the upside. And the way we're going to do that is by trail stopping it, right? Because unfortunately, our T1 got taken out way too early there. So there's a good chance that this will be more of a trail stop trade rather than a straight shot to T2, which would be nice. Don't get me wrong, but those things rarely happen. It's nice when they do, but as I said, they rarely do happen. What we would like to do is to actually trail stop this by the means and methods that we have with our AutoUFOs. So let's say, for example, if we don't get stopped out here, let's say price is kind of just going sideways here and decides to shoot up. Let's say it doesn't go all the way to our T2. Well, in this shot up, there's a pretty good chance that we're going to see a new UFO form. So what then we're going to do is we're actually going to take our stop loss, which is here 76.19, and move it below that newly formed UFO. Once we do that, then we're safe and sound, right? There's a very good chance that this will be in the positive, let's just say. And so as we move our stop up and up and up and up, we're protecting more profits while giving this trade room to go. Okay, so that's that for this one. Let's take a look at gold real quick. Gold is now unconfirmed, so not much to look at. So, yeah, gold ended up dropping quite drastically since the open, which is not unheard of, let's say. So yeah, as you see, it's 2.6 ATR since we've had that sensible long note alert. So it's no longer confirmed. Sensible shorts across the board here. ES, NQ, RTY. So I'm going to open those up as well as this yen sensible long. Let's take a look at the yen sensible long. So 60-minute yen. And I'm just double checking here. If there's any questions or any comments, please feel free to let me know. Here we are. So the yen 60-minute. I think we're on the H, right? Same as the other ones, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, we're on the H. Never hurts to double check. That's what I've found out. So 87,155. All right, so the yen is also in the middle of our entry here. So I'm going to go ahead and put in a limit order right there. Should fill immediately. And now our stop is below 150, so we can put it right here at 140. All right, so it's a very small risk trade. Um, so, that's that for this one. Where is the final target? The final target is here at 87,405. So 87,405. 5. We'll place that order. Yes. Okay. Now I just want to look at that here as well. So 87,165, not getting a whole lot of movement just yet. But, here we are. Okay. As we said, the stop is at 87,140. $87,190 is the T2. I'm sorry, T1. T2 is all the way up at 87,405. All right. So that's that for this one. Now, crude oil looks like to be shooting lower, coming fairly close to our stop. As you see, the UFO is gone. Not much to do there. Of course, the expectation was for this to go to the upside. A nice push to the upside won't hurt, right? Let's take a look and see if there's anything else here. All right, yeah, we're looking good across the board here. Interesting. Just double checking here. It doesn't look like our private stream is running. I'm not quite sure. All right, lots of movement on gold. Crude is still kind of sitting there, not doing much. The yen, similar. Gold looked like it's bouncing up a little bit. It is now a confirmed down climate. ET 16.5 is the nearest, is the moving average. However, we don't have anything nearby to get in on. So, unfortunately, that's that. Okay, the yen looks like, this was a very small stop, low risk trade, which is okay if we get stopped out. It's okay either way, I would say. Risking 62 bucks to make 330. It's not a bad. All right, crude. Looks like it bounced up a little bit. Crude. might be holding there. I'm getting some alerts here. Let's see where. So sensible short still on the ES. Let's take a look and open the ES, and I'll open the NQ as well just so we have it. Just because they both kind of tend to move quite a bit. Crude is not really cooperating with us, is it? All right, so NQ above that 16,000 mark. ES coming closer, looking stronger. There we go. We actually might have a couple of trades here. So, yeah, 47.91.55. So basically, getting in on this at 90.50 is the entry, and then 96 and above is the stop. So it looks like 96.75. So 97. So that's the setup there. Now this is a little bit too much risk, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to set it up here at 47.93 even. So I'm going to move my entry up a little bit while keeping the stop the same at 47.97. Okay, so now I'm risking 4 points. All right, so 47.93 being the entry. 3 cards, 93. Okay, and then as far as our T2, obviously we got to adjust to those two as well. So we need to adjust our T to 89, T1 to 89, right? 4 points away. And as far as our T2, that would be all the way down to here at 47.72.75. 47.72.75. So right click that, 47.72.75. All right. And that's the ES trade. So we're getting quite a few here. The yen doesn't look like it's doing much. Pulled back a little bit, came down a little bit to the stop, pulled up a little bit. Crude oil. Gold is not doing much, so I'll move it here. So crude, I'm just gonna put the open trades that we have here. So crude is still kind of, dancing in the middle. It's not really doing much from our entry, and there's not much else that we could do. And a couple times that it, came close to where we entered, and now since then it's just been kind of going sideways, really indecisively. Um, Nasdaq, very similar story. So 620. Actually, the Nasdaq would not give you an entry because you see that the moving average is at 620. We have a UFO at 620, but if price shoots up to 620, we're going to miss the UFO, so it's going to be somewhere up here. So the ES is still the valid trade. We're going to see if we're going to. All right, so crude oil looking like it wants to go lower. So we might see it stop us out. The yen already stopped out. Okay. The yen was a small risk, small trade. It, doesn't really bother me that much. I was really expecting crude to kind of continue this rally up on this nice pullback here. But here we are. It's still kind of refusing to pick a direction. All right. Yen, 87.150. All right. It's already trading below the moving average, so not much to do there. Let's go ahead and close that. The ES I guess it's just going to wait till it opens, which is about 6 minutes from now. All right, I'm just going to double check the streams to make sure that we are all good to go. If there's any questions. Just making sure. Yeah, looks like we're all squared away here. Okay. So back to the drawing board we go, right? The euro, same thing as the indices, right? 2 ATRs down. It's just a matter of time of, it coming around. All right, looks like, yep, crude oil did stop us out. So we're out of that trade too. Okay. Which is quite okay. And it's pretty much that for now. Nothing else that we see in front of us. ES looking like it's looking a little heavy again. The Nasdaq kind of doing the same thing. Yeah, that's what it is. Sometimes you have several trades working at the same time, and one after the other, they end up working out or not working out, and that's that. All right. So other than that, what else do we have here? Not a whole bunch. All right, gold, as we said, confirmed down climate, but unfortunately, unless it like rockets up right now, I don't see this trade coming because, as you see, current price is 1813. 1813.1. The nearest UFO is all the way up here at 1818, and the moving average is at 1865. So if this were just to just rock it up, right, it's going to drive the moving average, which is here at 1816, up as well, and that's potentially where we could put in our entry right here somewhere, right on this UFO. If that happens, right? If that happens, there's a very low likelihood that that will happen, especially after this steep drop here. But again, that could be that just the people that did go short end up covering. And Johnny, yes. Yeah, so if you're day trading with small time frames, does it impact my trade? So realistically speaking, yes. Basically, you're not looking at share bars, you're not looking at tick bars. So therefore, if I don't, you're only looking at the minutes. Something that you could do, which I'll show you, which is something that we also, which is what we do on trading forex, for example, is you could do this, right? You could load your two charts here. Now, as you see, for example, when we trade forex, we have the 8-minute, the 21-minute, the 55-minute, right? But you can also go to the 8 range. See, that'll give you UFOs as well, right? 21 range and 55 range. So you could utilize the range bars on TradingView to do the same. Obviously, they have different sensitivities, And I would say definitely, at least because you have TradingView, I would say definitely back test and see how some of them react. Because you go to the 15-minute, 1 minute chart. If you go to the one range, as you see, even on the 8 range, it looks, it's quite a bit of action going on here. And it takes some time for TradingView to update the UFO. So see, right now there's like a floating UFO that's filled. It's still showing as if it's there, but it's not. So you got to be a little bit more careful. So right, the only UFO right now that you should be seeing on your chart, or at least considering, is this UFO here, this UFO here. All right. So there is a way to also utilize. All right. So the day session has opened. The markets will most likely come up with a direction. Let's go ahead and take a look and see what's going on here. All right. So we still have a confirmation on the climate. We're still good. The ES is not doing much. Yeah, no problem, Johnny. No problem. But yeah, that's one way to basically look at it. So if I were to load ES and instead of paper trading, I were to connect to my TradeStation. God, it's like every other time I do this, it's 1 second. All right, remember me for 30 days. 36, 635. Okay. All right, so I don't remember putting on this position, but Hawaiian Holdings. Okay. I don't remember putting on this position, but that's pretty cool. So I want to go back to the at ES. Continuous current contract. So this is what it would look like, right? There's quite a bit of action, as you see, even on an 8 range, right? It's tolerable. It's not like it's um, driving you crazy, right? Um, it's definitely, I would say, tolerable. It's not too whippy, so you could definitely go that way. All right. Do we have anything? Okay, so the sensible short on the RTY 60-minute. Oh wow, the Dow just rocketed up. Okay, let's take a look at RTY 60-minute and see what. Where's RTY 60? Crude oil finally went down to the 76s, so it looks like it decided on a direction. There's no confirmation on the climate just yet, but as you see, it's moving on down. Okay. No, the 8 range would not be the equivalent to the 15-minute. No. So the 8 range, you would be substituting to one of our edge timeframes. So for example, on my end here, on the ES, I use the 2-minute 2584 share bar and the 1597 tick bar. On TradingView, what you would do is something like this. All right, so you could do something like this. So this would be your, this would be your 2-minute. This would be your 2 range. And this would be your 15-minute. So that's how you would trade it, how you would trade the short term, right? Exactly. Yep. So 1 minute to the 1 hour. So the minute to the range would be the equivalent. The lower you get though, the more choppy these get, because obviously you're only what this 2R means is basically well, why is it looking at, that's why I'm like, something looks a little weird here. So let's connect that properly. I'm like, we should be seeing quite a bit of movement. As you see, this goes from 47.87, 86.75 to 86.50. So it literally is the range of two ticks, essentially, right? So that's what it comes down to be, is these uh, candles, or not candles, but they're the range, is what it looks like. It looks a little choppy, I understand, but that's what they are. The lower you go on the ranges, the more choppy they look. All right. So all right, looking like ES is you know deciding on a direction. Crude is retesting that UFO. Okay. So far, not a whole lot. No, plenty of action, just none for us. All right. 60-minute RTY had a was sensible. However, doesn't look like we're gonna get any sort of confirmation here. If we do, that would happen like right about now. However, not seeing any UFO show up, and it already moved quite a bit. As you see, the moving average at 2258. So if we do have a UFO that shows up anywhere here, any red UFO, we essentially have permission to go short um, at market. But that's if we see a UFO. NQ fell off a cliff. ES is kind of still in there. Crude is doing his thing. Russell now pushing up. Gold pretty much unchanged, and if it's gonna keep going slowly like that, there's really no reason to look at it. Russell, even on the 15-minute, is a confirmed climate, even though it's a little on the negative ATR. And actually, here it is, 2260. Yes, so this is, we can sell this at market. Let's hopefully move it fast enough to the downside. Move our stop to 61.2. Let's just double check here. All right, so the Russell looking like it wants to keep going lower. Let's not lose T2. T1 looks like it got filled. T2 needs to, all right, this is running away from us. T2, what's going on here? T2 is all the way down at 22.45.6. 22.45.6. All right. Yes. All right. So we already got several UFOs show up for us here. 2259.5 is the stop now. Okay, I'm glad we caught it when we did. So finally looks like we're catching a break here. All right, there we go. 2257.4. 2257.5 rather. I'm sorry. Oh no, it is supposed to be 4. Okay, so this is definitely a profitable trade. Sharp retest up. Ooh, wow. Okay, so aren't you glad you're moving your stop? Look at that. Look at that price action, right? And interestingly enough, I'm taking this again because I gotta move my stop quick enough. Because the UFO is still there. The stop needed to be above this 61 area. So I think it was like 61.2 or something like that. I just couldn't move it fast enough. All right, there we go. It would have stopped out. So that one, I guess, saved some money. All right. Crazy, crazy, crazy whippy market. All right. 59.62. This is already trading above. And that's the reason why we have some sort of an error. Thank you, TradeStation, for that. Kindness. All right, so the ES also looking fairly strong. Crude not doing anything. Russell on the 15, trading above the moving average. Unconfirmed climate already. Nothing to do there. This is still a confirmed down climate, but man, talk about a U-turn. Look at that. Right? It just touched and just blasted off. I think this was the open. No, it was here. So that was the open. The day session low just pulled a U-turn on the Russell. All right, so Russell is definitely showing some strength. All of the indices are reversing right now, but far from where the Russell is overall. I mean, it's already testing above the range there. Okay, so looks like we are about to get filled on this ES trade. And I'm not by any means afraid of getting filled on this trade, because when we have a sharp move up like that, we typically have a sharp move down, which would, typically get our T1 filled. Wait, what's going on here? Is this... All right, it's right before that UFO, which is okay. So, yeah, we... Russell slowed down, dropped off a little bit. Nasdaq, again, didn't even come close to what the Russell pulled, right? So this is where the Nasdaq opened. Let's just mark it. This is where the Nasdaq opened, right there. Okay, and it's not even 50%. I guess it's about 50% back from where it fell off of, right? Now look at the Russell, right? Talk about strength in the move. The Russell opened here. All right, the Russell opened here, pulled down, retested that down, and then just skyrocketed up. It's just, phenomenal to see. Versus the NQ or the ES. Okay, so um, oh my. Okay, so I just realized something here. We actually have a trade right there at 90 with a stop at 92.25. Yep. Um, so the stop, as we said, 92.25. The reason why is, we had the trade from before where we were looking to get in, right? But the problem was that was actually going to be not according to plan. Um, that UFO and the entry was above the moving average, not within it. So the moving average used to be enveloped by the UFO you're getting in on. So we almost made a mistake there, but I'm glad I caught it. And actually, we were giving an opportunity right there at 90 to get in on. So we're going to see how this works out. Right now, it is pushing a little bit high, but you can tell that there are definitely sellers there. That's definitely stopping a little bit, um, pausing at least. So we're going to see how this works out. The Russell kind of did the same thing, pushed up, and now it's pushing down. Definitely taking a turn up there. Hopefully the ES follows, right? um, NQ, same thing, pushing a bit lower. RT1, the 50-minute is a confirmed up climate with entry at 61. None of these are 61 even is actually an entry there. So 61 even could be the entry. Oh, okay. Now that's as much as I would love to. We'd be looking at a stop of all the way down to 52.7 on the Russell. So we're gonna go ahead and cancel that. That at that point, it's not a 1-to-1 safety target; it's a 1-to-1 wishful target. All right, the ES is finally printing some green since we've opened the trade here. Let's see how's our time stop rule looking. I think we're pretty much okay. Yes, we are. 1, 2, 3. And I just realized that we went way past the hour for turning off the other streams. I'm just going to double check. Doesn't look like there's any questions. So I'm going to go ahead and switch off to. All right. Looks like we got our T1 on the ES. It's looking fairly strong to keep going to the downside. Yep. Come on, give us a UFO now so we can protect some of these profits that we're making. All right.